Okay, so I'm going to keep my voice up because I'm still dealing with the microphone issue and with the company. So anyway, here's the pad that we're going to be using. I want you to step in, and the minute that you step in, keep this foot back here, okay? When you step in, this is going to be a tutorial for later. The minute you step in like this and you act like you're going to bring your foot up, you lean. So I'm wanting you to stay upright. So this is a warm up. So whenever I step into a non-compliant surface, okay, which means a pillow, okay, it means a disc. So this is one of those balance trainer type things. It's a very nice thing to have around. You can put it in any chair. You can use it, okay? So keep your foot back here. That's number one. This is the warm up. I'm going to be doing tasks with my hands. Keep your shoulders down. Keep your rib cage up. The minute you say rib cage up, when you put your foot on that surface, that pillow, that's starting to warm up where I want you to warm up, okay? But if you step in here and just do this, like lean out, that's not really what I want you to do, okay? So here I am. I'm rotating my hands with my little band, and if you don't have a band, simply grab a tea towel, okay? And you can do this kind of a thing with a tea towel. So I'm going to keep my voice up so that you can hear me. I'm still trying to resolve this whole thing. And you can't talk to anybody. it's all through, you wonder if you're talking to a person or not. But anyway. Okay, here's my band. See how I changed my foot and I put it here? And if you just kind of do it because you're going, oh yeah, just walk, just warm up. No, no, no. When you put your foot here, the knee is soft. Right then you say rib cage up, okay? So this is getting a readout. This is a very different position than if I were to do what most of you do. When you step up, you go into this kind of a thing. We'll do that later, but not right now, okay? So here I go with my band. And again, you can use a tea towel. I'm going to keep my shoulders down. I'm going to say rib cage up. Pull the tummy in and rib cage up with shoulders down. Once your knee is soft and you're stepping on here and you're doing these rolls like this, see that? I'm just going right here under my thumb, or I can tuck my thumb in. But what I don't want you to do is this. See, I want to keep your shoulders down. I want to keep your elbows in. Right now, say rib cage up. See, I'm steady holding here. This is making this fire. Yeah, that's what I want. And then step off, okay? Big breath, into the nose, out through the nose if you have a Kleenex. But if you can do more in through the nose, out through the nose, as much as you can, that's going to facilitate deep breathing, okay? Why do you want to do deep breathing? It's not any kind of weird thing. It's because it gets oxygen into your brain, okay? It gets oxygen into you when you do a diaphragmatic breathing, okay? Ask anybody who has ever taken voice lessons, okay? We've been knowing about that for years and years and years. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. Okie dokie. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And what am I doing? I'm stepping on my pillow. I'm not bringing my knee up yet because I'm trying to encourage you to do a line up. You're going to need this in just a second, okay? So as I roll my hands, keep my shoulders down, and the minute I step on that non-compliant surface, I say rib cage up. The minute you do that, you're going to take the pressure off the knee, okay? And if you were somebody that's recovering from maybe an injury to your knee, you can do this whole thing sitting. See, you can just change feet and you can do the whole thing sitting, okay? So you get to have that choice. But right now I'm trying to get you to line up. So see, every time I put my foot up here, I soften my knee, keep my elbows down, my shoulders down. I say rib cage up, and I hang out here for just a second. Okay, that's kind of an important thing here. All right. So rib cage up. So the minute I do that, I feel less pressure around the knee. Okay, I have the contractions going on where I want them to go on. Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna widen up. We're gonna go ahead and step a couple more times here, but now I'm gonna put in my little band, and if I don't have a band, I will simply get a tea towel. See this tea towel? Okay, I'll try to keep my voice up. It can be hard to do. So put your thumb in the tea towel and then just pull back like this. If you only have a tea towel, that's perfectly fine. Now, if you have a band, great. Drop your shoulders. Think about what you're doing with the foot on the floor. Some of you are doing this whole thing and I haven't mentioned it yet. And you're doing this real good. You're going rib cage up. However, my guess is your foot is out. So I want the foot straight on. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do a pull back. So when I pull back, see, I'm going to pull back into this lower leg, the back leg. I'm going to pull back and I'm going to lift the knee. See that? I'm going to lift the knee as if I'm going to step off. So I'm pulling back, breath, pulling back, breath. Drop your shoulders, pull your tummy in. Make sure your foot on the floor is straight. Pull back. You press, you shift all your weight into the back leg, okay? That's why it's important that the toe is forward. And then you do a very careful lift, okay? And when you do that, you may over or under balance, okay? So I want you to catch yourself. I'm trying to show you. Have a chair, have a wall, have your broomstick. Okay, now I'm going to go to the other leg. So now I'm going to go put my other leg up there. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to change hands. Drop your shoulders. So again, the minute I did this, the minute you did this, you started leaning. I don't want you to lean. I really want you to brace. You put your foot here. You keep your toe in the back straight. And now you've changed your hands. The elbow doesn't go up here. It just goes level with your shoulder. If you have shoulder issues, for sure, drop your shoulders. For sure, say rib cage up. Get your toes straight on. And keep your elbows lower. And just pull from here. See, that's perfectly fine. And you may be doing this just with a tea towel. And you don't have the pull that you would have with a band. And I've got tons of these bands, so I'm happy to let anybody get them. Just talk to me. Take a breath, pull. Drop your shoulders, pull. Okay, get ready. So here we go now. We're going to shift our weight. And if you shift your weight back, you have to bend your hip. Okay, you have to bend at the hip hinge. Because then I'm going to get all my weight on the back leg and I'm going to pull this leg up. Okay, as I pull my band. Then I'm going to go step down, again, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and pull. Okay, so if you have a tricky shoulder and you're pulling, just keep it low. Shift, go into the back leg and lift. That move right there. This is a very typical move in a lot of disciplines like karate, tai chi, this kind of a move, okay? So just practice it a little bit. It's a great warm up for what we're going to do today. So I'm here with my foot, again, on a pillow or a pad that's a non-compliant surface. I have my one leg down behind me. I want to bend that knee as I shift back to where all my weight is on my back leg now. I lift this leg and I pull and I pull and I come back and I come back. Take a big deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and step down. Okay, now we're going to do what's called a wide, but a shallow or a short hip hinge, okay? So pretend you have a high bench or a bar stool or something like that that you're going to want to sit on, but then you don't sit on it. Now I still have my band, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hip hinge, and what you don't see when you see me do this hip hinge, what you don't see right now is the minute I did the hip hinge to do this high squat, a wide high squat, I said rib cage up, okay? Shoulders down. That's very important on this. And then I come back up, okay? Now when you come back up to standing, don't lock your knees, okay? Keep the knees soft. They increase a little bend to a high hip hinge or a high squat, okay? And as you're doing that, then you're going to pull gently through the chest as you push your butt back into that bench, that pretend bench that's high, okay? This kind of a move into your heels. Then when you come up, you're on all four corners of your feet. Your knees are still soft. Yeah, don't lock them. In through the nose, out through the mouth. You got it? As I sit back, I keep my shoulders very, very down. Okay? That means really down. Very, very down. And see how I'm just putting a gentle pressure as I push out with my hands? I'm pushing back with my elbow. Then you release and come back up. Now, right now, when you're back up, keep your knees soft. Your butt is tight. Okay? It's tight. It's contracting. All right? Big breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Here we go. High hip hinge. Wide. I go down. I push my elbows back. And my hands, the backs of my hands are going out. Not super hard, but there's pressure there, okay? And then release and come up, and the butt is what? Tight. One more. Here we go. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you're doing this, just notice when you breathe in through your nose. Here we go, back up. Now squeeze your butt tight. Okay, get ready, hip hinge, back, open those hands, drop your shoulders, in through the nose, out through the mouth, stay down into that high hip hinge. 2, 3, 2, 1, up. Now squeeze your butt tight. Yes? Good. Okay, a couple more moves, and then we'll begin to our weights. All right, and I'm going to show you some of the moves that you did on Monday that made you a little sore. They're very effective. Okay, so if I'm standing here, so I want to now address some transverse, some turning things. Okay, so I'm standing here. I'm going to turn my foot like that, turn my foot like that. See that? And then I'm going to just bend and turn. And I'm going to open this way and then I'm gonna open this way. But see, I'm on a side diving board. What does that mean? That means you might lose your balance. So you get a chair next to you that you can put your hand on, or a wall or something like that. So as you're standing here like this, okay, I'm going to step out first, and I'm just going to slide down, okay, and stay open this way, all right? Take a big deep breath. Then I'm going to turn, and I'm going to turn my toes, and I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to slide down that front leg, and my knees are soft. Then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to stand right here, okay? Then I'm going to step this way, across, just like that. So let's do that again, okay? So I'm standing right here. All right, I'm gonna turn, and I'm gonna turn. See that? So it's just a different direction. Okie dokie. Then I just come down and I stay open, and I just bring my hand right down onto the front leg, okay? And then I come back. So I'm crossing over, I'm doing transverse work. So if I go this way, and I go this way, I'm just gonna step across, come down the front of the leg with the hand up. You're kind of on a diving board, okay? Going to the side, keep your chair where you can put your hand on it. So yeah, I'm trying to get you into all different kinds of functional positions, all right? And some of you might say, well, I don't do that in a day. Well, I bet you do. What if you had to turn and get something over here? See that? What if you had to turn and get something over here or back up that way? This is what I'm talking about. Functional moves to get you prepped and ready. Okay, let's go wide again. High hip hinge, drop your shoulders. Push into the heels. Come on down. Come on down to the ankles. As you're down, holding on to the ankle or to your calf or even to your knee. At this point, you go ahead and stretch the backs of your legs by straightening your leg. That's all you got to do. You only do it for a couple seconds, then you bend your knees and you come back, okay? Then you do that turn across, turn. Then you come back, step across, and you're turning, okay? So lots of good moves to get you all woke up, all right? Woo! Waking up those muscles. Okie dokie. Now I'm going to sit down on my little chair, okay? And if you have a band, then we're going to use it. If you don't have a band, don't worry about it, okay? If you do have a band, I'm going to go ahead and loop it over my foot, okay? And I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to bring this leg up. See how I'm leaning back? And I put the band around my legs. See that? And I'm going to put it right above my knees. Now, this makes it pretty easy to ambulate, but you still have to be mindful of what you're doing. So we're going to keep these on us for a little bit, okay? So you might say, well, I don't have a band. That's okay. Do all the moves exactly the same, just without a band. If you don't have one of these bands that I have a bunch of, just make a knot with some of your long stretchy bands and make a loop, okay? So once I have that, I want to see how I can ambulate. See this? I step forward, I step forward, I step forward. Now, for many of you who have wonky hips, you may dismiss this kind of moving around because Either it scares you in that case, you need to get you a broomstick, or do this whole exercise where you can go against a wall or against a bed, and you have something you can hang on to. Because those of you who are trying to stave off hip and or knee problems, walking around like this, where it's working against a resistance, can help to really pick up the strength in your, around your hip, around your knee. It puts a nice pull, okay? And sometimes it crawls up. You just want it just above your kneecap. That's where you want it, okay? It lets you move around. It would be much harder, and we will do some work with it around our ankle, but right now it's just above my knee. And as you're ambulating around your area, make sure that you have a chair, a wall, a bar, a broomstick, you know, just for that point of balance. That's all. Okay. So now I've walked around a little bit and I can see that I can walk, but I'm encouraging you to take a little wider than normal step. So do that one more time. Step back, and don't take little steps. Take it just a little bit wider. See, it's not much. It's just a little bit wider so that I get a little bit more of a pull. Okay, now, while you're doing this, you have to know you have to keep nice and tight in your tummy. Yeah, and then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put on my little gloves, and I'm going to go ahead and pick up a light hand weight. So for me, I'm going to pick up my 6s, okay? Some of you may pick up a light, and you have these weights from class, and then you may pick up a 3. Maybe that's your light, okay? So whatever is light for you. And you see, I still have this band right above my knees. See that? Again, if you don't have one, or you can't make a loop with some of those exercise bands that we have, that's like holding our doors open and all that, just don't worry about it. You're going to be fine. Take a little wider than normal step, and you will get some of the same benefits. Now, this little band facilitates that benefit, okay? Because it makes it just a little more resistant. You got it? Okay, remember the slingshot that we did when we warmed up this morning? Right? I'm going to step wide. See that? I'm stepping wide, and I'm bending the back knee, and I'm pushing it back. And I'm doing this against a band. See this? Boom. Yeah? So keep your rib cage up, and I'm acting like I have a bow and arrow. So I actually have weights in my hand. So here's the bow and arrow, and I'm going to pull it back. And whenever I pull my elbow back with my one hand out in front of me, I bend and straighten my back leg. Do you see that? So drop your shoulders, say rib cage up, put one hand in front with your weight, your light weight, bend your knee, and then when you pull the arrow back, you straighten that back leg. So come back in, breath, come back in, breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth, breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth, breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth, breath, one more, bend the back knee, straighten the back knee, bring it down, okay? Yay, I hope you're getting this. Okay, so I'm turned sideways so you can see what I'm doing, okay? I'm going to turn this way because I'm going to put the other leg back, and I've got this little band. Now, this isn't a hard band. This is just a medium band, okay? So I'm stepped back, and I can bend and straighten. See that? So I'm gonna put my bow and arrow out there, okay? So I'm gonna take my opposite hand from the leg that's in front. So this leg is in front. I'm gonna bring this hand out as my bow and arrow. So I'm gonna come right here, bend the knee, bring the other one here, pull the arrow back, and straighten that back leg. Bring it back in, drop your shoulders, into the nose, out through the mouth. Bring it in through the nose, out through the mouth. Bend that knee in. Say rib cage up. Breath. Here we go. Breath. All the way out, just like a bow and arrow. And we already did this move with the band. So we're already warmed up. Straighten that back leg. Bend it. Straighten it. Just a couple more. Big breaths. Okay. We got one more. Stay with me. And bring it back in. And bring it back down. That should have got your attention. Okay. Shoulders up. And come back down. Okay. Shoulders up to your ears. See, I got my light weights. So I chose 6s for my light. You may choose 3, or you may choose 2 or 1 or none. That's fine too. I got my little band around my, right above my knees. And if it slides up, slide it back down. Okay. Now I'm going to take and step out against that band. Okie dokie. My shoulders come to my ears. They drop. Okay. Want them really down as I stepped out. So I'm hanging out down here. All right. And I'm going to bring my knees in just a little bit and then pull back open. See that? See this? See this? Just a little tiny move and pull back open. But my rib cage is up. My shoulders are down. Boom. They come in just a little bit. I'm going to sit back a little bit. Remember the high hip hinge? This is where you want to do that. And then I come back up and I open them so that they're right in line with the rest of my leg. Then I come down and then I open them. Okay? Rib cage up. So I'm going to come down. Now I'm going to add my arm pull. So I come right here to my knees and then I come up against that band, pull back down, keep your shoulders down, in through the nose, out through the mouth, back in and open back against that band. Breath, breath, go, couple more. This should be not too challenging for your arms. This is a movement, range of motion kind of a thing. And pull. Now bring that leg in and you're right here. You just keep it taut and you step this one out. Okay, then you bring it back and step this one out and you bring it back. Okay, and you step this one out and you bring it back. Now let me show you a little trick. This is a little trainer's tip. So everything's good to go if in fact you step out and your whole body goes out. See, that's no problem, right? So we know how that feels on both sides. See, I just kind of went in there. But what if I don't go out there? And I put that leg out against this band, but my head stays in line with the support leg and hip. See that? That's a whole different exercise. Yeah. So here we go. Shoulders are down. Stand your ground. I call this standing your ground. Okay? You don't go with the leg. You stay right here, central. It goes out and in. And it goes out and in. And this kind of a move right now that I'm doing and trying to coach you through is so beneficial for core stability. Because see, I don't want to go out with the leg. I want a hip hinge. I want to do that high hip hinge that we practiced in the warm-up. Breath. Couple more. Then we're going to go to the other side. Breath. Because we were just warming up, getting this whole thing going. Now, before we go to the other side, take a break, walk forward, walk back against that band, and see, again, if you don't have a band, just step a little wider. You will still get some of the same benefits, but you're going to see how effective just a little pressure on a very functional move like walking makes a difference. You're going to see that in just a second. Okay, let's do the other side, about like we did this one. So I'm standing my ground. I'm doing what? I'm doing a high hip hinge. See that? So before I get ready to kick this leg out like this, I'm going to do a hip hinge. I am not going to do this. That is a whole different thing. Okay, so hip hinge, tight tummy, drop your shoulders, and it's going to go boom and back. See that? So I'm standing my ground, so to speak. And in order to do that, I have to do a high hip hinge. And I push back as I'm taking this leg out against the band resistance. Yes. Breath, press, and I'm just keeping these weights right here. I can bring them in, or I can just keep them here and add just a little resistance to my back extensors by doing this. Breath. See, I'm not following my leg. See, I'm not shifting my weight. I'm keeping my weight right into the support leg. Two more. Big breath. And one more. And big breath. Yay. Okay. Now we're going to do, I'm going to put my weights just on my chair because I'm not done with them. But what I want you to do, and be careful, please. Safety first, always, always, always. And if you're not ready to do this with a band, don't worry about it. And don't think, oh, I can't do that. Class uses these things. You don't have to use them. Perfectly fine. But looky here. I put it just below my knee. Just below my knee. See that? So once I put it just below my knee, then I step out and I do this little press back again. I introduced it in the move that I did just before this. You might want to adjust it so that it's kind of hitting right at the calf, okay? And again, if you don't have a band, don't worry about it, okay? Step back and bend the knee, and then push it back. Bend the knee, push it back. Got it? See that? See that move? And if it crawls up, just step in, readjust it. You want it around under the knee, right at the calf level. Step out, straight, bend, straight, bend, straight. You get it? Then once you've gotten that and you're good to go, you pick up your light hand weights, okay? So whatever is light for you, it could be no more than a can of food. That might be 1 or 2 pounds, okay? So I'm going to step back. I'm going to keep it right at my calf level, and I'm going to just do this little press back. Again, press back. And as I got my hands here in front, I'm just going to pull and pull and pull. It's a gentle resistance, very functional movement. And you can just do it with no weight. You can do it with no band. You can do it with lightweight. But here's what you got to watch. You got to watch your alignment. You got to keep your chin tucked. Your ears are over your shoulders. Your shoulders are over your hips. I'm not out here. If this comes up, just bring it down a little bit. Step back. Okay? So line up. And as I pull back and pull back, it helps me to stand up. Yes. So when you pull back, when you're pressing your knee back, okay, keep your elbows at shoulder or lower. Don't go over your shoulder with your elbow with this pull. Okay, now I'm ready to step in, turn, and I'm just a little split stance. See my back leg? See that? It's just a little tiny move. But boy, when you do it against a resistance band, that is going to really facilitate your hip, your back, your knee without hurting it. Okay? Now, once I've got that, then I'm going to start my little pulls with my upper body. I'm going to line myself up. I'm going to pull back. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Whenever I pull this back, even though it's a light weight, I want to keep my elbow at the shoulder level or lower. Tight tummy, bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Keep that elbow going back. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just a couple more. We're there, we're there, we're there. Keep your tummy super tight. Here we go. And one more. And bring it back down. Now hang on to these weights. Step carefully. It's under the kneecap. Remember? Step carefully. Step carefully. And if you don't have it around your knee, that's fine. Just do these moves. Stay lined up. Keep your shoulders over your hips. In other words, I'm not leaning like that. And just walk with those around your legs. Okay? Now I'm going to put my light weights in my holster. I'm going to come back to my chair. I'm going to sit. And I'm going to bring these down. I'm going to do a few little moves right now with the band around my ankle. Okay? Again, if you do not have a band, or if you don't have a straight band that you can loop, knot, and make a circular, don't worry about it. Just do the move. That's perfectly fine. And some of you who maybe have some knee issues, you don't want a band anyway. That's fine. Take your hands, put them right here behind the hips, right on the chair. Drop your shoulders. Open back from your hip until you feel this right here. Brace. Okay? Or kick. Okay? I feel it. Oh, it kicked in right there. See? In through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep reminding yourself. In through the nose, out through the mouth. So here I go back. And I'm just going to do a little tiny open and close right here. So pick which foot is going to swing first. But don't do this unless you're totally ready with your shoulders down, braced, open here, rib cage up. And then you just go from the heel to kind of like you're going to straighten the leg. That's it. Straighten the leg, in through the nose, out through the mouth. So straighten that leg against that band right there. And you're not going to go straight. Don't worry about that. Okay? I just want you to bend and straighten. Okay? Not that you're going straight. It's just that you're getting that movement. Okay? So you're getting this this extension. Okay? Breath, flexion, and extension. In and out, in and out. Breath. And you just go to your heel, say rib cage up, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Boom. Yeah. Just a couple more. Boom. It's right here. Should be kicking. Ah! One more. And then come in, come forward, release, turn, look over your shoulder, turn, look over your shoulder, big breath. Now come back. Now we're going to finish up on the other side because we just kind of got going on that, okay? So hip hinge open, number one, okay? Your band is around your ankle or not. And if you're doing knee issues, I would rather you not use it until you really are able to. Okay, open your hip hinge until this, what? Braces. Drop your shoulder, rib cage up. Bring this to your heel, see? And I'm just gonna go up and to my heel. See that? It's not much. Boom, it's right here. But if you do 10, let's say, or 2 sets of 10, or 3 sets of 10 against this resistance, it's going to get your attention. But here's the deal. Don't get sloppy. If you're getting tired, stop, regroup, in through the nose, out through the mouth, open, brace, boom. Don't turn that little toe out on me, okay? All you're doing is going from the heel to trying to straighten the leg just a little against a band or not. If you do this move and you don't even have a band, you might have to do a few more, but boy, are you going to pick up this muscle. Ah! Breath, breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. I got about 3 more. Yeah? Breaths and breaths. Woo! Okay, come in. So that was a very pointed move on the quads if you took the trouble to align yourself. So now I'm going to just pull my heel out and get my band off of there. Now quick, everybody stand up and take a few steps. You're going to feel a little wobbly. That should make the point of how effective it is to use a little resistance band like we just now used. Okay, I'm going to go and pick up my free weights and I'm going to turn it up to 12 pounds for me. So that's right on the tail end of medium, getting into a little heavier for me. So you gauge whatever. I want it to be about a medium weight, okay? But depending on your injuries, depending on whatever you've got going on, you may just want to do a light one just to put something in your hand, and that would be just fine, okay? This time, I should have got this in place first. I'm going to get my little pillow, and I have about 7 more of these, maybe 6 or 7 more of these. So if you're ever over and I can meet you around the school area or wherever, I have them. So I don't even have to go in the school, okay? Anyway, talk to me about it offline, and we'll see if we can't get you one of these. They make a difference. So here's the deal. We're going to do something now for our ankles. So I'm standing on this non-compliant surface, which for some of you, it could be just a pillow. I'm looking here. Oh yeah, Phyllis, you have to mute your mic. Just mute it. I have everybody muted automatically, but
Mine says mute on my phone.
yeah, it does. It's not muted. I can see it. Yeah, I can see it, and I'm recording. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Got it. Okie dokie. All right. So here's my disc. See that? I'm going to stand on my disc or my pillow. and I'm gonna drop one heel down, okay? And I'm gonna come up with that. See that? Now I have 12 pounds in each hand. Okie dokie. So what does this mean? This means you've got to align yourself, okay? Now this time I'm gonna keep my leg straight, okay? So I'm dropping like 2 inches. I'm dropping my heel to the floor. I'm keeping this foot front, even though it's spongy, and then I'm coming up, okay? I'm doing this against an additional 24 pounds here. Okie dokie. One heel, drop and up. One heel, drop and up. Keep the front knees bent. Drop your shoulders. Down and up. Make sure you're not gripping with your toes. Put that heel down and up. Heel down and up. Heel down and up. It should be getting your attention about now, especially if you picked up more of a heavier weight. Keep your line. I got 2 more. I got 1 more. And step down. Step down. Now with that foot that you just worked with the heel drop, turn the toe out. Okay? And then bend and bring the heel up. And it will release. You got it? Okay. Get ready. I still have these weights that I'm just letting them hang right here, okay? So I'm going to step up onto my disc or my pillow. I'm going to put the ball of my foot on the edge of my little pillow, and I'm going to let the heel drop. But here's what you're going to do with that back leg. You're going to straighten the leg. Yeah. Then you're going to press into the toe and bring the heel up with your leg very straight, okay? So drop with the heel, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Press into that front foot, okay? I mean the foot that's straight, the leg that's straight. You're just pressing into the toes, dropping, into the toes, dropping, into the toes, dropping. Yeah, keep those toes from curling. You want to just tap your heel. You want to keep your rib cage up, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep it going. Yeah, stay with me, stay with me. We just got a couple more. You should be feeling this in your calf right now. If you kept your legs straight, kept your line, if you added some weight, and you're dropping to tap the heel and up, pressing and up, pressing into the balls of the feet, up, up. 2 more, 1 more. Woo! And step off, and step off. Take that leg that you just worked and turn it out. And then bring the heel up. See? Just like that. And then bring the toe up. So it's a push-pull. See this? And then this. See that? Yeah. Big breath. Okay. Here's these weights. These are medium to heavy weights for me. I'm going to put them right here. Okay? Right here. I'm keeping them right here on my quads. Okay? Here's the deal. We're going to go on down. Remember that high hip hinge we did in the warm-up? Well, now we're going to do a little below that. We're not going to go quite to the chair, but we're going to go much deeper than what we did when we were just warming up. So here I am. My heavier weights are right here. Drop my shoulders, rib cage up. Now I'm going to push into the heels, and I'm going to go down, 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 down. I'm not going to quite hit the chair, and then I'm going to come back up out of that. And here's the thing that you might not have noticed. I'm in a wide stance, okay? So make sure you're in a wide stance. Now you're going to push back into the heels, and you're going to go down, and you're going to stay in that wide stance. Don't buckle the knees in or out. Okay, you ready? Here we go. In through the nose, exhale, and go down into a deeper hip hinge, almost a squat. Yes, but I'm not quite going to the chair, okay? So in through the nose, out through the mouth, into the heels, into the heels, into the heels, and then come back. Say rib cage up, rib cage up, rib cage up. Ugh. Big breath. Drop your shoulders. In through the mouth, out through the nose. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. You know what I mean. Okay, drop your shoulders. Two more, just two more. Stay with me, go a little lower. Just a little lower, go into your heels, into your heels. Come back up, do one more. Here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. And come back up. Nice. All right, now before we put these down, we're gonna do just a little pointed work, okay? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna step back to our work area. We're gonna take a step and put the weight right, tap the front shoulder, okay? Now, when you take a step, many of you have what's called a forward leaning syndrome. Yeah, you do. So how do you rectify that? How do you fix it? When you step forward, you just keep bending. We don't want to do that. What we want to do is say rib cage up. Number one. Don't go so fast. Number two. I'm going to step. I'm going to go opposite. Opposite. And I'm going to really pull my rib cage up. Because we tend to lean. We do it for all kinds of reasons, okay? And I'm talking to me just as well as anybody else, okay? Because that's not what we want to do, all right? So we're going to say rib cage up. I'm going to step with one leg and pull the weight right here. Tap on the shoulder. Step, say rib cage up, tap. Say rib cage up, tap. Say rib cage up, tap. Then I'm going to come down and I'm going to just carefully walk back with my knees soft, knees soft, knees soft. Okay? Take a big deep breath. So what we're doing is I'm just adding some dimensions onto what a carry is. And everybody should be doing at least 2 days a week. You should pick up something that's heavy. And what better way to do it than these? You can pick up 2 jugs that you fill with water, okay? And carry it around your house. 30 repetitions, 2 sets of 30 repetitions. I'm trying my hardest to stave off all the issues that come with weakness, with arthritis, with osteoporosis, with different kinds of injuries, and I'm trying to do it in a very systematic way. So the carry is one of them. So now I'm going to put these weights down, okay, and I'm going to open my hands and close them. And anytime somebody comes on new, or if they happen to pull up my YouTube channel, it's Fitness Concepts with an S plus, Plus. And you can access any of these workouts that I've posted. Subscribe. And all that means is it's all free. It's I make it available public service to those of you who come on and help support this Zoom thing. But anybody can access it. So what I'm saying is the carry, very important. Now I have these gloves, okay? You can even get bike gloves. They would work if you have a bike glove. But if you're going to be lifting with me online. These help your hands give support and warmth. On the weights now, we're coming down to the bottom end of our class. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up one more, okay? So now I'm going to go into heavy range. So some of you have these weights. So whatever it is heavy for you. So for me, I'm going to have 15 and 15. I've let you rest with your hands. And now I'm pulling these weights right up here, okay? And when I have very heavy weights like this, I don't like to put people on the pads because just by virtue of that, you can get off balance. And if you have big, heavy weights, well, you can see that that's not a pretty sight, right? So see what I'm doing? I'm just walking around with 6 more pounds added to my frame, okay, with everything else, all right? So here's the deal. I'm going to change the trajectory. So I'm going to bring this heavy weight up, and I'm just going to hang on to it right here at my shoulder. See? You can even keep your fingers underneath for padding. See this? So this is very good work right here. So I'm going to turn, see? And I'm going to walk back. And I'm going to turn, and I may do 2 or 3 turns with this very heavy weight coming right down my frame. Now here's the deal, y'all. If you have these weights sitting here on your shoulder, it would behoove us to make sure our alignment is very good, correct? Because I don't want to be doing forward-leaning walking when I have 30 pounds sitting on my shoulders, right? So say rib cage up, shoulders down, breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And now I'm going to stand my ground right here. And now I'm going to go into my toe box against the added 30 pounds that I have on my shoulders. So the trainer's tip here is you keep your knees soft. They're not really bent, but they're soft. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And it's an up, down, up, down, up, down. Heels are lifting. Heels are lifting. So yeah, you might say this one is going to be highlighting calves. And whenever I highlight the calves, of course, I do hit the quads. But the calves right now should be pushing you through this. They should be squeezing into that toe. Breath, 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 breath. Just a few more, just a few more, just a few more. Breath. And bring them down. Right there. And now we take the shoulders up and down. Now we bring the shoulders up and down. Now I'm pulling against quite heavy weight. Okay? But when I drop my shoulders, I don't lean forward. Set into your heels almost. Breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Here we go. Breath. Now hold your weights right up here. Hold them up here and just go 1, shrug, 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 and drop them. Drop them, drop them, drop them. Yay. Okay, I'm going to bring my weights over here. I'm going to put them in my rack. And another little trainer's tip, anytime you have weights like this, you put them in your rack, make sure you channel them all the way to as heavy as they can go, because you don't want other people that's in the house to pick them up, okay? And or try to pick them up, because that would be a problem if you had little kids. Okay, shake out your hands, give yourself a big hug. Now, when you give yourself a hug, guess what you just did? Guess what you just did? The minute I did this, I didn't say anything, but the minute I did this, you shrugged your shoulders. I want you to do the opposite. Drop your shoulders. Now give yourself a hug. It's a whole different move. Yeah, we shrug our shoulders sometimes, but mostly I want to keep those shoulders down. And then I just move from one to the other with very little effort because my shoulders are already down, okay? Then I go out and I go into my W. I tighten in my tummy. I want to touch my deltoids, my shoulders, with my thumbs. So if some of you are doing this and you can't quite hit it, you got some work to do, okay? So make sure you're coming in with me and tell me, give me a call and we'll get some other ideas for what to do. Mostly it's dropping your shoulders and just pulling back with your whole arm. See that? So that you can come down and back and you're in line. It makes a big difference. Then our palms are down in a T, and then let's just check them up. Take a big deep breath. Then let's check our shoulder over, under and over. So I'm going to take one, put it over my shoulder, and I'm going to reach up here and see if I can touch my fingers, which, yeah, I can just touch my fingers on this one. This is my problem one. Then I'm going to take the other one, put it over my shoulder, bring my hand up, and I don't have nearly as much trouble with this one. So it's just a good check. That's just a range of motion check. And the W, the T, the Y, those are really good moves. These that hinge open, but you know what? They only are going to really work if you line yourself up. That's the whole goal, is getting these back. Now, let me give you a little tip before I go off. See, I have a immovable desk right here. It could be a door frame. Anytime you walk through a door frame, let's pretend this is a door frame. Anytime, if you have forward shoulders, if you have taller shoulders, anytime you walk through a door, put one hand, it's too much to put both. Put one hand as you walk through and then turn as you keep your shoulder down. And then move your chin over the shoulder and you just sit here for a little bit. You let these release, okay? Anytime you walk through a door, put your hand on the door frame, walk through and turn against or turn away from the door frame. It will help you start standing up and lining yourself up. So I hope that helps. Yay. Good job, you guys.